It's Brian Preston, the Money Guy.
All right, this next question is from Jeremy. Now, Jeremy says, the Bogleheads recommend saving 25 times yearly spend as a retirement goal. I believe the Money Guy's recommendation is 10 times. Can you help me understand why your recommendation is lower? I want to clear something up. I don't think that our recommendation is 10 times your living expenses for what you need for retirement. Our recommendation for what you need for retirement is how much you need to retire. We tell you that we think when you're in the accumulation phase, we want you to focus more on your savings rate. Am I saving 20 to 25% of my gross income for the future? But then when it's time for you to actually pull the plug on working, when you actually decide to exit the workforce, we think rather than it being a multiple of your income or a multiple of your expenses, you need a very customized retirement plan that will tell you, yes, I have enough money to live the life I want to live for the years that I have remaining, because it can be affected by so many factors. The types of accounts that you house. Do you have pension income? Do you have other sources of income like real estate properties or business interests? All of those things will affect whether you can retire with 10 times your expenses saved up, or if you're someone that needs to retire with 30 times your expenses saved up. We like using grenades in the accumulation phase, but man, when it gets to actually retiring, actually stepping away, we think you ought to use a scalpel, and it should be laser precise.
This question cracks me up because it's questions like this that make me realize all my buddies, I'm always amazed when they know all these sporting stats. Like you go play trivia and they can tell you, who was the second baseman for this, championship team. They can tell you who leads in RBIs. I don't know any of that stuff. But then you read this question and I'm like, oh, this is where my nerdiness lies. Is because when I hear Jeremy gave credit to the Bogleheads for the 25 times expenses, but y'all realize what that actually is. That is just reverse engineering the 4% safe withdrawal rate from the Trinity study, because if you take 100% divided by 25 years, it comes up to the nice number of 4%, a la the 4% with safe withdrawal rate. You've probably heard us talk about, and I do this because I mentioned them together, is you could use a 5% safe withdrawal rate, and that's essentially the same as 20 years of your living expenses. They're one and the same. And just to correct what Jeremy said, once again, to also tighten up my nerdiness on this to show that we do a lot of reading, that 10 times number is actually a Fidelity number. Fidelity uses that number, and we do sometimes when we do the by age series, we will use Fidelity's research because it's another source that kind of throw into the calculation in addition to the 4 or 5% safe withdrawal rate. But Bo is exactly right. I think just like we talk about, it takes 10,000 hours to develop your expertise in your profession. There is also another 10,000 hours as you're in your wind down phase to become an expert on how you're going to do retirement well. And part of that building expertise towards retirement is doing Monte Carlo simulations, trying to break it, stress test it. It's not you using a benchmark. The benchmarks are used while you're developing or building your assets. When you're ready to land the airplane, guys, you don't want a benchmark. You want to make sure something that is custom to the altitude you're at, what your goals are. All this stuff needs to be custom, and that's why you need to do a true retirement plan as you're approaching, especially within the 5 years. That's the other brilliant part of the abundance cycle. We know we can give you so much free advice, help you build your level of success, but at some point you're going to get so complicated, so sophisticated that you're going to need to go custom and take the relationship to the next level, and we're right there, open arms, waiting to help out with all those analysis.
Love it.